Cold start. Damn. Oh, that there's, I guess that's ethanol smoke coming out. Woohoo, let's get it. All right, so we decided to go ahead and take the Demon over and get the oil changed. We ran it a couple times, an 1/8 mile and a 1/4 mile. And so we want to see, did we hurt the engine or is everything okay? So we're headed on in to R2 Motorsports to find that out right now. Mopar violence everywhere, everywhere. All right, I'm over here at R2 with Leroy. Okay, so we changed the motor oil on the Demon 170 because everybody's saying, hey, you need to change it really often. And we have 1,500 miles on that motor, and most of it's just driving around, but I did do an 1/8 mile event, and I did a 1/4 mile event out there with Demonology. And so we just want to make sure everything was okay with the car. So what did you find out about the oil?
Nothing, the oil's clean.
Okay, so we're going to show a video right now. Oil looks good.
Yeah.
Now, one of the interesting things that I found out is when I asked people, should we run the car on just all on ethanol or should we cycle through regular gas? I got two different responses. One school of thought is that you need to run it through because ethanol causes more corrosion and you need to run the regular oil through. And the second school of thought was run it on ethanol all the time because of the gap on the spark plugs is appropriate for ethanol. But one of the things that I found out from Leroy is there is actually a difference in the frequency of interval for the oil changes. So tell us about that, Leroy.
So basically on the oil change of ethanol, you're going to consume 42 or 43% more fuel. So you will get some ethanol or E85 will get through and get into the oil. So you will have more more alcohol in your oil. So you do want to change your oil much more frequently. That's one of the major differences.
How much more frequently?
Man, when I ran I had most of my customers, I tell them, depending on how they run their cars, that's going to be a big determining factor. So most of my customers, after one race event, they'll change their oil.
Okay.
You know, if they're driving on the street as a daily driver, like I had my Z06, it was 1,300 wheel on E. I change that thing every like 2,000 miles, 1,500 to 2,000 miles. If I didn't hit no racing events, if I was just driving normal.
Yeah.
Because as you go wide open throttle, what's the injector do? It goes wide open too. It pulses.
Right.
So it's pumping way more fuel in the car. Not all of it gets spent and burnt. Some of it gets passed through the piston rings and gets into the oil and blah, blah, blah. All that.
Well, that's really good information because I didn't get that information from anybody else. And you guys have done a lot of ethanol cars, right?
Tons,
including Hellcats.
Tons of them. Ethanol, we do straight meth, straight E. We do E90. I'm an Ignite Racing fuel dealer for San Antonio. So 90% of my cars leave here on E90. All straight alcohol, basically. Or ethanol,
so if you're running it at events, do the oil change after every event, which is just smart anyways, because you can see if there's anything going on.
You're still pushing the car anyways. Yeah, you're burning the shit out of the oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're just driving around on the street like a boss, you got a Demon 170, you need to do what, every 1,500, 2,000?
That's not on straight ethanol, though. Ain't that a mix?
Yeah, it's an E85. Yeah, it's E85 pump gas for most people.
Yeah, well, you should still change it more often.
Okay.
Anytime you have any type of alcohol in your fuel, it's going to get by and get into.
So every couple thousand miles.
If you do E85, any kind of alcohol, ethanol, you change your oil, you'll smell the E in the oil. Period.
Got it.
And alcohol does what? Wipes oil away from bearings.
Yeah. So it loses it causes more friction.
Yes. Yeah. So
all right.
You definitely want to change oil more often.
Hey man, thanks for that advice.
No problem.
Yep.